Ladies, and mostly, as my analytics say, gentlemen, welcome to the Year of the Good Boy Countdown. Joining me today is my wife to count down the top 10 good boys of 2025. I'd like to let her introduce herself and discuss more of what the Year of the Good Boy is.
I don't know how to introduce myself. I'm Shannon. I'm the wife. I'm an angel. And Josh deemed 2025 the Year of the Good Boy, like pretty much right off the bat, January of last year. 2025 was a lot. A lot went down. One of the things that was really lovely about being next to him pretty much all the time was his just like a little quiet radar, just a little scanner for like good boy vibes. Throughout the year, it'd just be like, oh, that's a good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Oh, good boy. Like, so 2025 was really cute because like, yes, lots of stuff went down, but Josh just always had this good boy scanner. And then eventually I had a good boy scanner, and then like all of his friends had it. So it became a whole thing. I don't know. They were good boys in 2025, and we'd like to celebrate that. We'd like to celebrate that behavior. We like to say we love you.
I'd like to emphasize that I went into this because for two reasons. It was pretty clear to me by the end of 2024, 2025 was going to be a year of many bad boys doing many bad things. And boy howdy, was it full of bad boys doing bad things. So as she said, we'd like to celebrate the few good ones out there. And if you go, wow, that lady sure is good at talking about how to connect to my feelings and think about relationships, you should go follow her at sister.shannon on Instagram, because she talks about this kind of stuff all the time and she's very good at it. But what we're here to do is create the definitive top 10 good boys of 2025 list. The second reason I came up with the Year of the Good Boy is that we were watching the Paddington films at the end of 2024 and early 2025. He's sort of the mascot of good boys. He may show up throughout as I edit. I don't know. In some way,
I have a meme already saved on my phone that I will make sure gets put in here, probably right around this point, like Paddington as the archetypal good boy.
So we're going to do a round robin style. She's made a list of good boys. I've made a list of good boys. Our goal is to come up with 10 good boys from 2025 and rank them. I'm going to let her kick it off. So first good boy of the year, who we got?
I would like to nominate Tiny Chef for the good boys list.
Oh, from out in left field. I did not have Tiny Chef on my radar. Tell us about
He's going to add
Chef.
it now. Tiny Chef, if you're not following on Instagram, is the sweetest, most kindest, most sincere boy aside from Paddington. You've probably already met. He's adorable. I think one of the ways I don't use social media a lot. Yes, I have like my stuff Josh alluded to a minute ago, but like I think the way people use social media, it's all insane. It's all nuts. AI is throwing so much crap at us that like it's hard to find like genuine good stuff. Tiny Chef is a treasure. Yeah. Everybody should go follow Tiny Chef, because like the 4 minutes I spend on Instagram a week, half of it is devoted to like whatever little Tiny Chef reel. Tiny Chef is a tiny little like Muppet character just living this tiny little life. He's got this like garlic clove the size of his whole body that he's just like chopping up while he sings along to like Ariana Grande or whatever. It's adorable. It's what we all want to be doing. It's like the most holistic way to live. He's super sweet, super feely, super honest. And I think that should be respected in a good boy list. I think we should be able to hold space for boys who are like, I'm really sad about this, but I'm going to chop up this song and sing to this, whatever, like while I'm in the kitchen, because like that's good, wholesome, taking care of your whole self vibes.
I wholeheartedly agree and co-sign everything said about Tiny Chef. My just 2 cents I want to add as the media critic here is the production of Tiny Chef.
Excellent.
Is phenomenal. These people are doing puppetry, stop motion, and just cranking out content that is, it's not content, it's art.
It is art. It is art on Instagram. It is worth following. It's worth maybe that being the only account you follow in 2026.
In a world,
honestly,
yes, they could build just as big a following throwing out AI slop. They spend all this love, time, and attention and detail into this stop motion animation Tiny Chef and making him do cute, adorable things.
It's adorable.
And as of now, that makes him rank 1 through 10 on the list. So there's Tiny Chef.
Thank you.
All right. My first one I'm going to throw out for a couple reasons. One, if anybody who knows this channel from any other videos is still here, they're going to want to hear something video game related, maybe. So my first one, it is the CEO and creative director of Sandfall Interactive, Guillaume Broche. which is the developers who made the game Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which my wife does know the game. She has not played the game. She's seen me play maybe an hour's worth of it.
As someone who had French jazz on in the car this morning, I'm like, I get the vibe.
Yes. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's the video game of the year, billions of awards. And it is brilliant because they took Japanese role-playing games and made them extremely French, which in and of itself, the way they approached it is its own little good boy move. There's a cultural vibe to it that you just don't get from an American video game that is a little softer, a little more sincere, and I love that. But I chose the CEO and creative director of the game almost only because I watched the Game Awards this year where they won all but one of their awards that they were nominated for. And Guillaume, whose name I may be mispronouncing, I apologize.
No, that's...
You know, that guy, that level of person, every time they win an award, they go on stage and it was very adorable. First off, they were all dressed up in their adorable baguette outfits of striped shirts
I hope
and
you
pants
please throw a little
and
like...
berets.
Please throw a little thing in here where I have a beret on. Like I am otherwise dressed French.
Yes. He would go up and then he would just offer the mic to whoever, like whichever department had won the award. And especially it was nice when I forget her name. I'll fix it in post if I'm wrong. It's like Jennifer something Sedberg or something. She's the lead writer. And she goes up and she's like, do you want to talk? And he's like, nope, this is your moment. And I think that's good boy behavior. And I think they made a overall good boy game that has a message that is very necessary in this moment we're all living in and how to process grief. And I won't say any more about the game and its story and its themes because it's a thing you got to discover on your own if you haven't already. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So between him and Tiny Chef, I'm okay with putting him below Tiny Chef because I recognize this is my thing that you don't know as much about.
I think Tiny Chef is more immediately accessible
yes.
to a wider audience. However, knowing this is your channel, and I assume pretty much everyone here has some love of video games, I don't care. Either one.
No, well,
I love Tiny Chef though.
Yeah.
And Tiny Chef does need to be on our definitive 10. I will fight you on that.
No, absolutely.
Right.
I'm saying Tiny Chef 9, Guillaume 10.
Works for me.
Okay. Who's your next one?
I'm going to go with this since we're already on a video game theme. I don't play video games. I don't care about them. I love people who play them. You know, video games for me growing up, like I got a Game Boy Advance SP. What is the little square one? When I was like 9 or 10, it kept me believing in Santa Claus for like another 3 years because I was like, there's no way my parents would have gotten this for me. Like Santa must exist. So I like played Mario growing up. That was pretty much it. Josh and I interact with video games in very different ways. I love that they're amazing for him. It's rubbing off on me. And the reason I bring this up is because I am now playing Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
And how long have I been playing Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, you're about 2.5 months
And
in.
how, based on the progress so far, how long do you think I'm going to be playing it?
Oh, I think it might take us at least the rest of 2026, if not half of 2027.
So
She refuses to teleport anywhere. This could be its own separate video, though.
I'm taking my time on it. But Link is a sweetheart. And so I'm putting Link on the good boys list.
Not super relevant in 2025 outside of our own exact experience,
but people here know it, so I'm gonna allow it myself.
Yeah, I think people know Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom's Link, and he truly is a good boy who just wants to. What's the word?
Sincere. I think sincerity is going to be the through line in everyone on this list.
For sure. I'm thinking of like his relationship to Zelda in the game, which you've only seen.
No, but okay. So like, let's talk about this for a moment. As someone who, growing up watching Disney movies, 100,000,000% identified with the damsel in distress, strong princess character. Like I am that. I am Meg from Hercules. I think every woman needs a helper.
Yeah.
I think he is the helper. He does it sincerely. He cares about his mission. He cares about the people he's around. Like he wants to do the best he can.
Yeah.
And that is a sweet, sweet thing.
And he doesn't just step in and say, let me do it for you.
No. And it wouldn't be in that voice.
Right. To connect it to 2025, they did start filming a live action Zelda movie in 2025. I'm very scared about how it's going to go down, but
we have a 9-year-old who I'm sure is going to make us watch it.
Yeah, so, we will.
In a world where I think like on the general, I'm surrounded by a good boy or two pretty much all the time. You and then a couple others. You know, Link's been a nice digital good boy for me to hang out with.
Yeah. Okay.
And do whatever I say. I'm kidding.
We'll leave him.
I'm not that dominating.
We'll leave him at number 10 for now.
Okay.
I'll just keep moving up my list here. I'm still working through, the ones you are definitely not going to say, which leads me to one more from the world of video games. And this is my moment to say, the Good Boys list is not a definitive, this person is uncancelable, has never done anything wrong and never will do anything wrong, and I pledge my undying fealty to them. This is just me. I've observed something in them in the last year that I thought there's a sort of sincere goodness and humanity inside of them. That being said, my next one is Hideo Kojima, who released Death Stranding 2 last year.
I'll allow it. So,
and I said the preface because he's not quote unquote canceled by people, but there are people who say like, he's had maybe not the best relationships and treatment of his voice actors, and the way he portrays certain characters and defends them is a little misogynist or whatever. And I'm not downplaying any of that. But I think as like, first off, a cultural figure, somebody who is championing art and media that is inspiring. And like, I love how online he is. He like posts every movie he goes to see and writes a little review because he just wants people to love the movies as much as he does.
Did he review Megalopolis?
He probably did, but this would have been over a year ago at this point. And also Death Stranding, both 1 and 2, but 2 being the one that came out last year, is the most dad video game that has ever been made. It is so about being a dad. And I haven't even looked up if he has his own children. There are so many moments since playing Death Stranding 2.
Josh became a full-time dad in 2025, so that also happened.
Yes, that happened like as I was playing the game when it came out. So it was very heavy on my mind, the degree to which I'm like, this game is about being a dad, doing dad stuff, and being a good dad.
And what about it makes it a dad? What are you doing that is the dad thing,
You
Josh?
are hauling stuff. Oh my gosh. I had no idea when I signed on to be a full-time dad that you just haul stuff all the time. There's all these times I'm taking Archibis home from ballet or whatever thing she's got going on, and she just runs in the house, and I've got 10 bags slung over me that she's just not even thinking about. And that I just, every time that happens, I go, oh, I'm doing Death Stranding. I'm Sam Porter Bridges. Also, the story, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but in Death Stranding 2, there's a story about this character, Neil Vana. It's about his like sacrifice from the place of like a loving father. So they add like another dad figure to the series that just celebrates good boys. It's a story about celebrating good people being kind to each other. Whereas the first game was like a very lonely thing, but still very much about being a dad. This one's about celebrating like people being kind to each other and getting the gang back together. And I loved it and I had a good time. So I'm letting Hideo Kojima be on the list this year. I don't know where he goes on our 10, but
I also just want to throw in that he's the reason I know who Caroline Planchik is now, and that's worth it. So
yes.
I see that, and I agree. I also don't know where that puts him on the list.
I still think Tiny Chef's at the top.
Okay,
so far.
I would agree.
I'll just put something on the screen to show where we're arranged currently.
Okay.
But we'll go back to you. What's next?
Oh my God. Listen, everybody, I got married in 2025. In 2025, I ordered my wedding dress online, and it was huge, and the skirt was gigantic, and it was gorgeous. When it showed up, I took it to my mom, who's an excellent like seamstress extraordinaire. I was like, Mom, we need to do a couple things with it. But there was a shot of me in this wedding dress that harkened back to an event that had happened not too far in the past from when I was trying it on. And that event happened at the Vatican. And do you know what that event was? The Catholic Church had a conclave. And in that conclave, yes, as two like Catholic people-ish.
Extremely lapsed over here.
Well, two people raised Catholic. We know what a conclave is. We also are very aware of like how little Catholics actually understand of like the civic structure of the Catholic Church. There's a whole mess of things that go on in there that make like the power structure what it is. But what happened this year was our guy, Pope Leo.
Oh, wow. Is that who you're throwing on the
I'm
list?
going to throw Pope Leo on the list.
We're throwing the Pope on a list of good boys.
I know, in 2026, I'm going to throw a Pope on a good boy list.
If you had told me that back when we had whatever Emperor Palpatine, the former Nazi, that someday I would agree that the Pope is a good boy, I would have told you you're a liar. But I agree. Tell us why Pope Leo is a good boy.
It's mostly because of this image I have of him, of his like picture with like his hat and his sunglasses on.
Oh, the one that I found from when he was
incredible shot. I think a lot of it has to do with the foil of like geopolitically, like what's going on in the U.S. versus like what the Vatican is saying. And it's important. I'm sure all the cardinals were thinking like, how do we keep the U.S. in check a little bit when they were going through their conclave in April? But they chose like a decent good boy from the U.S. And I'm sure that was not on accident because the USCCB just elected its most conservative leader or whatever, like in God knows how long. So there's a foil there that, again, speaking to your point earlier, like he is not Catholic. He's not infallible. I'm sure there's messes in there. I am not also pledging my undying allegiance to him, but I am saying as a figure in 2025, I think Pope Leo was a pretty good one. Only because he's a little bit irritated with geopolitics here.
We have to look for ways of treating people humanely, treating people with the dignity that they have.
And especially that he yells at like the antithesis of the good boy.
Which is J.D. Vance.
So why do you have to delve into repeating these baseless claims that, again, Senator, have been repeated by neo-Nazis? There's no evidence.
A video came out of a migrant 30 miles away eating a cat.
It's called a hard stare. My aunt taught me to do them when people had forgotten their manners.
Yes, fake Catholic J.D. Vance. That he's like constantly in detente with him. Like, nope, you don't know what Catholicism is. Sit down, little boy. For that alone, I declare him a good boy. I think he's up there with Tiny Chef. I think he is too.
I think he is too. I don't think he's going to stay there, but I think he might be above. I don't know how we're deciding who's where.
I never thought I would say a Pope of the Catholic Church, an institution I was pretty down on for a good third or two of my life. He's a legitimately pretty good guy.
He's a good one.
So I'd say he's at the top so far.
You'd put him above Tiny Chef?
I mean, because Tiny Chef is
all right.
A little more niche.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so back to my list. Let's go to music, and we're going to throw out my boy Kendrick Lamar.
I also have him.
Kendrick Lamar for me is like, there's probably like 3 or 4 creatives, artists, celebrities that I feel like a almost spiritual connection to everything that they put out. We just had a conversation like a week or two about how like, man, I can't think of the last time I was like, somebody famous died and I was legitimately upset about it. And like the one I came up with was like Kurt Vonnegut. That's the level that like Kendrick Lamar sort of touches me and understands where I'm coming from, or I understand what he's saying. I feel like given as much as I can, being not of the culture, which is like the thing he's on the list for, is his absolute undying warpath for saving the culture of hip hop that he has been on for the past year and a half now. It was pretty quiet after the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl event was enough to get him on the list for the year.
Yeah, that's all he needed.
Because Kendrick's thing is he drops his art and then he backs out of the discourse and the conversation. He does not engage in posting and all this nonsense. And, you know, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. He doesn't show up on podcasts. He just drops the art and leaves and quietly goes spend time with his family, as best as I understand. Because, again, he's a pretty quiet guy.
I think that quality alone puts someone on the good boys list.
That's why I'm stating it.
Love it.
That alone is quite important. There was a lot of discourse after, again, he dropped the art at the Super Bowl. It was like the best, blackest show he could get away with on that stage. And then he walked away and the discourse was like, what did he mean by this? He said the revolution will not be televised. Blah, 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 blah. People were taking it to be like, oh, he's trying to start the revolution. And Kendrick told us in 2022 on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick made you think about it, but he is not your savior. He has made declaration after declaration. My job is to make you think and then move from there. I am not the leader. I am not the savior. And people were arguing after he said this thing at the beginning of his performance.
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
which was him just calling back to Gil Scott-Heron.
The revolution will not be televised.
Which is to say, you cannot
entertain yourself through the revolution.
Entertainment is not praxis, basically. Consumption is not praxis. So Kendrick starts his performance by just saying, this is just entertainment. It can make you think beyond a lot of other content slop, but it's not the revolution. I am not the revolutionary. I could talk about what that means for hours.
We were saying that, like, that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film.
But I think the humility, his ability to be humble and accept his position as an artist and know his place and say, my job is to protect and defend the culture of hip hop and West Coast hip hop specifically that I come from, is admirable, and he doesn't try to be anything more than that. That's my case for him. At this point, I have him at the top of the list. I'd maybe let him go below Pope Leo because he's gone quiet. But if you have additional thoughts, feel free to add.
No, he's at the top of the list. Like, I think a man knowing this sounds, it's like so weird to say this as a woman because like the language gets so thrown at women, but like it's about being a human and knowing like what's yours to be in and what isn't.
Yeah.
It's not about gender. It's about knowing like when is it your time to be involved and when is it time to not. And he is a genius.
Yes.
And knowing how to play that energy.
He's done a very good job of speaking on that in his music, multiple songs where people are like responding to the 2020 Black Lives Matter moment and how people were criticizing him for like not having a loud enough voice. And he is, I think, spoken very eloquently through his music. And just a line here or there of like,
I've been ducking the pandemic, I've been ducking the social gimmicks, I've been ducking the overnight activists, yeah.
It's not my job to speak and be the leader of this movement. My job is to provide the like rhythm that moves you. So
he's at the top.
Yeah, good boy. I'll let you have another one. You ready?
This is going to harken to the Cincinnati crowd for a minute, but Hot Dog Harv.
I have Hot Dog Harv.
You have Hot Dog Harv?
I have him on the honorable mentions list. But if you
have
want him on
him.
the proper list, let's go.
I don't mind him on the honorable mentions list, but I do mind that he gets named somewhere.
Tell the people about him.
Hot Dog Harv is a good boy in Cincinnati, literally. He's probably, I don't know, maybe 10. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's young. He's a
know.
sweetheart. In 2025, so if you're not from Cincinnati, Cincinnati chili is a very real thing. I'm from the East Coast. I've lived here for 10 years. It is only since I started dating Josh that I've like come to have an affinity for this product, which is called Cincinnati chili. It's different from like chili anywhere else. It's like got like Greek roots, so there's a little bit of like a cinnamon touch to it, and you usually eat it on spaghetti or over a hot dog or something like that with other things involved. So anyway, Hot Dog Harv, he took Pink Pony Club and made a new song.
Chapel Roan's Pink Pony Club.
Thank you.
Yeah. Again, 98% male analytics on this channel.
Yeah. But this sweet boy did his own parody of it, just again in sincere homage to the majesty of Cincinnati chili. And it's grimy, like it's not a well-produced video, but it's
is.
yeah, exactly. It's so sweet. You just want every child in your life to have a moment like that where they are just in love with something, they can express it and people appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want for kids. That's what we want for all of us. But like big fan of Hot Dog Harv.
And you get a sense from the way he posts his videos, or I'm sure his parents help him post, that it's like he's not going to be like 20 years from now. His parents are still dressing up going, you got to go out and be Hot Dog Harv for the people. Right. You got to do your one-hit wonder, kid. Right. Like it just is like, oh, this was a fun thing he was doing. He's riding the wave. And he'll either keep making creative stuff or, I don't know, disappear into whatever else matters to him. I hope. That's the vibe I've gotten so far. Eyes on Hot Dog Harv. We love you for now. We hope you stay pure.
Yep, that's it.
All right. So where should he go on the list? I mean, I think
honorable mentions is fine.
Honorable mentions.
It's a little bit niche.
Slide him in at 10 under Link for now, because we got a lot of.
I know we got a lot of
good boys to get through.
Might need.
How about another one? I'm pretty sure you won't pick. Let's throw out the bug himself, Adam Friedland.
Yeah. No, I see that.
For anybody who doesn't know the Adam Friedland Show, this is a comedian who was formerly on a podcast. I don't even know if I can say the name of it on YouTube. I'm sure.
C-O-M-E Town.
C-U-M Town. So Adam himself will describe his rise to fame and notoriety as he peddled in smut on this podcast for about 8 years, which I've heard probably every episode of. And then he decided to actually try for once in his life, and then suddenly started succeeding in 2025 and is doing a very serious Dick Cavett style interview show, which nobody watching this probably knows.
It's really cute though. Like listening to you listen to it is not terrible. I love it.
Yes. And somehow he's been getting massive celebrities and politicians on there. I think he just spent all of the money he made from Seatown on getting a good PR person to book people for him. Or the set is designed like the Dick Cavett show from the 60s. And he's basically trying to do that exact same thing of like public intellectual discourse, but still infusing his brand of comedy into it. And the reason I'm putting him on the good boys list is primarily for his episode with New York Congressman Zionist weird robot person Richie Torres. And he's asking Richie Torres about why he has such undying fealty to the state of Israel. And Adam is a Jew who lived in Israel, and that's the thing that made him anti-Zionist, was seeing in person kind of how horrible the treatment of Palestinians is. And so he has Richie Torres on, but he opens the show and he's talking about how like, I'm kind of embarrassed. I got a little emotional with the congressman. However, it's brilliant television to see the way Adam becomes human and the congressman remains a psychopathic robot throughout the whole thing.
I remember this.
We have to keep giving them money. We have to keep murdering children.
I remember this being on in the background whenever I was doing for other things. Like it's a moment where I remember Adam just like, oh, I'm gonna get emotional. Like he was being real. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch.
It's okay to be emotional.
No, because it was like everyone watching. Like it's so hard to watch how living in the belly of the empire both protects and implicates every one of us, and watching the dichotomy between how Adam responded and how whatever his name
Richie
is
Torres
just like did not. It was like, oh, you are a zombie.
Yeah.
And it feels like we don't know what to do with that. Like there's a piece of just like, what do you do? And
especially like Adam puts it in the context of this. Judaism is my culture and it's very important to me. And I take it, even though I joke about it, like I take it seriously in a way that it's like, this is my family, this is my heritage. And he points out to Richie Torres, who is a congressman, I want to say from the Bronx, who was just sort of like groomed into being like, you're the perfect tool for, to be a congressman that will do whatever we tell you. And he sort of explains like, you are cynically co-opting my like culture and traditions to say you're defending people against anti-Semitism. And I'm saying like, I'm telling you as a Jewish person, like you're making it worse.
The world is seeing something that looks terrible and it's being done in my name. And I don't know what to do.
To see like a guy who I've listened to poop his pants on a podcast, and that's the thing he was famous for, was accidentally pooping his pants and then crying. Now like crying about something very real, and it's like the thing that like launched him into a mainstream sort of name in certain circles is wild. It's not something I anticipated happening if you'd asked me back in 2018. So I don't know. I'm putting him on the list somewhere.
I cried, so he's on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put him above my game developers, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe below the Pope.
You want to put him under Tiny Chef?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
What we got next?
Let's stick with the New York vibe and just name Zohran Mamdani right now.
Oh, shoot. Okay, go for it.
You wanted to hold that?
No, you can do it.
Now, Zohran is on social media all the time. Very unlike Kendrick, but similar vibe in the sense of just like, he gets it. And I think living in the Midwest especially has put into further relief, like a relief map, like distance between like what could be and what is. Mm-hmm. And to have someone who, again, he's not infallible, but is kind of perfect. And Zohran, if you're ever watching this, I'm not holding you to that. You're a human being. I love your wife so much. Rama, come find me. But I think we are a country in searching for good archetypes and given very few.
Yeah, there's a very delicate balance that we need to find. As anybody who's still watching this is somebody who I would deem probably somewhat progressive and wants to see massive changes in our cultural, social, and political structures. So the balance that you have to find is, as somebody who's been around, in 2016, we put all of our hopes into this Bernie Sanders. And then we get in 2020, we're like, he's this, this post that we put all of our hopes and dreams on. And that's a bit of a mistake.
Yes.
And I think Zohran is somebody who understands that, who's like, I'm out here, I'm going to do my best, but I'm going to make mistakes probably.
Yeah.
And you're going to be disappointed in me. Like, I see people arguing all the time. Well, is he a democratic socialist or is he a social democrat? Does he stand for this? Does he stand for that? And I'm like, at this point, it's so bad out there. There are so many demons in power that if one person who has some power is like human and can sit with a kindergartner or a child and just listen to them sweetly and sincerely the way I see him do, which I understand that's its own kind of propaganda, is showing me that side of him on social media. I'm not being stupid, but like the fact that you can see.
But Donald Trump can't do that.
Exactly. JD Vance can't do that. You would watch that video and you'd go, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And you watch Zohran in a video like that and you go, oh, that's just a human being.
Yeah, and I think
listening and caring.
It reminds me, so watching him, so when RBG died a few years ago and everyone lost their minds, it was like, oh my God. And like one of my friends who, identifies as an abolitionist is like, your whole worldview was hinging on this one person. Like, doesn't that tell you something's wrong with how it's set up? And the answer is yes. Like, we're not expecting Zohran to fix a whole lot, actually. Yeah. I hope he does.
He's already fixed some potholes and gotten 2 years of childcare funds from the governor.
We'll take that. But I think the point is that to have almost like a Mr. Rogers figure, having a human being with some level of publicity who's just kind of untouchable because he is just a good boy is huge.
Yeah. And I just his ability throughout the campaign to just deflect every stupid political machine swamp nonsense they would throw at him. Peak moment is in a debate when they were like, how soon will you go to Israel if you're mayor? And Cuomo was like, I will go to Israel every single day as mayor of New York. And they go to Zohran, he's like,
I wouldn't.
I won't.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Because I need to be mayor of one of the biggest cities in the world. I'm busy. And normal people see that and they go, oh yeah, duh. It breaks the spell that political media has on these narratives. And it's brilliant. I thought this one would come up later. He's number one, and it's going to be hard to nudge.
I know. It's I'm almost annoyed that he's number one because it's a little too easy. I honestly,
let it be.
At this point, I'm I could absolutely still see we could have some matchup between him and Tiny Chef. I'm not opposed to that.
I'm going to throw out probably my closest competition for Zohran's spot. And that's going to be Mahmoud Khalil. What a crazy year 2025 was. Remember March? Remember? Yeah. Remember when they were just taking people off the street? Mahmoud Khalil, one of the leaders of the pro-Palestine protests in spring of 2024, at Columbia. The Trump administration just picked him out to just set a signal to people that our secret police are going to sweep you off the street if we disagree with things you say. And they took him to a jail in Louisiana for several months at the time that his child was being born. And I'm going to cry at this one. This sweet man, just so steady and non-combative and resolute in his mission of basically just freedom for all people, for all humanity. And stayed so kind through this just insane abuse that was being thrown at him by the most powerful empire in the history of the universe, just throwing the book at him, trying to get him out of the country, trying to separate him from his family permanently. And he did it with so much grace. And every statement I've seen from him is just nailed it.
Not only if they threaten me with detention, even if they would kill me, I would still speak up for Palestine.
And he is still He's got a bunch of lawyers that are, I think, trying to keep him with his family at this point. Anytime like his cases come up in court, I think judges are mostly like, this is absurd what they're doing to you. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Now to breaking news, a federal appeals court has reversed a decision that freed Mahmoud Khalil.
He's absolutely my number 2 good boy behind Zohran. That one's tough to move for me. What do you have anything to add?
I would almost put him above Zohran.
Yes, the test of like will that he's being put through.
Yeah, it's like the difference between like an archetype and a god figure. We're not trying to make any of these people god figures. They're human beings. But I think there's a lot of people in a lot of pain right now. And a lot of people are making horrific choices to try to move through that pain. And I think about it in terms of like the Mandela story and like watching people very publicly move through the world with their very best attitude, their very best hopes, their very best understanding of the good in humans, even as they are being treated horrifically. Having that internal sense of, you know, their own code and their own like battles with themselves that we don't see, but I'm sure are there. Like the character gets tested, and we're looking for people who can show us how to meddle through it, and be kind and be better people at the end of it than we were when we started. And a lot of people are choosing to not do that right now. Any of the people on our list could go through that. I'm sure Zohran's going to go through more of it, but like Mahmoud has shown it, and I'm going to put him at the top.
Yes, I'll put him at the top. Quiet dignity that he refuses to let them take from him, I think, is what really does it for me. Anyways, I'm all weepy now. This rounds out the 2025 Year of the Good Boy top 10 list. I will, again, probably put something together and post. This is going to be messy to edit. If this does it for you, this is your kind of thing. I don't know how much more of this we'll do in the year 2026, but it's fun for us. So if we can find time, we might come back and do more of them. In the meantime, subscribe if you like very lengthy reviews of Japanese role-playing games from the 90s, because I have a handful of those on deck that I'd love to publish more than one of in 2026. Let's make that my goal, is to get more than one of those published. Anyway, stay woke, nerds.